Hi and welcome to this live stream today of the new announcement of Marvel and Disney streaming service of the 3 new shows that just came out of nowhere, considering that we already have this phase here. And that is, of course, the shows of Moonlight, She-Hulk, and apparently Mrs. Marvel. And hi already to the chat. Hi Milkshake, I'm very happy that you're here. Of course, as always, guys, let me know if you can hear me and all of that jazz. So, yay, Michael! Hi to you. I am here for the third time today. So, oh, this D23 is gonna kill me. But anyway, so guys, this was kind of shocking for me because I thought that we already know everything, but apparently we do not. Can I pick up some cereal from the store? Why do you need cereal at the moment? Why can't you pick it up yourself? You're hyped for She-Hulk. Well, let's just do things one by one. Apologies for this. I'm stopping it. Okay. So guys. Wow. I don't check my phone for like an hour and there's already like there are a lot of things. Most of them are good though. Yeah. We are back, Ivy. Hi guys. So today I did a trailer review that's already on that I had to record, not stream. Just because I had to start the Gamescom stream, but that turned out to be kinda useless, except that I did say at least what I was expecting from Gamescom in terms of trailers, what we got and what I still have to cover. So we did had some kind of interesting conversation after all. But before that, I recorded my trailer reaction for The Mandalorian. And then what was left from the 33, at least for now, is of course the main deal, for me at least, that is those three here, guys. Hi, my dear colleague from Superheroes Bulgaria, with whom I did the awesome top 10 superheroes that, TV superheroes that you may not remember video stream that was the other day. Gero is here. And he is Superhero Academy in the comments, so hi to you. That's trending milkshake. I would say first, I'm not Kojima fan at all. I don't know what the big whoop is about. I mean, the big hype is about in terms of his games. I mean, um, you know, game. Damn it! For some reason, the game that I want to refer to just flipped. I mean, it disappeared out of my mind. But it's Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, it's a good game, but for people to be that hyped, I just don't get it. There's some weird stuff there that I'm just not a fan of how he does things. So Death Stranding looks extremely impressive, but there's so many weird things about it. I'm not sure that I'm going to like it. So we'll see. Of course, this time is entirely him. I mean, that the company, Sony or whoever, was in charge of some of the creative decisions will not meddle. So we basically will see what he can really do with this game. That's a topic of another, of another stream. But the point is that I really don't see the appeal of why everybody are so hyped. But anyways, it does look amazing, and of course I can't wait to check it out myself. I love to be to discover new games. So if this is like freaking amazing, I will be all up for it. I just at the moment, I'm just not as hyped, but I would love to see what the game is about. Anthony F. Hi, how are you as well? I'm good. I'm just very, very sleepy for some reason. Uh, well, it is creative. That's true. But it's just creative, but that doesn't mean that when it's creative, it's awesome. Because if it's too weird, nobody's gonna be able to assimilate it, and then what we're going to do, nobody's gonna find it fun. But again, we'll see. Maybe it's like super amazing and mind-blowing. So yeah, okay. I don't want to get far away from the topics at hand. They're long, and we have a lot of talk about as this. So first, guys, I'm not sure when those shows are happening. So they did announce, a separate show, Moonlight, She-Hulk, and of course Mrs. Marvel. And those shows are supposed to have big budgets, very big budgets like the movies. So that's why there are going to be a few episodes of them, and they're going to be in canon with the MCU as far as we know it. That is great. That means that we have this potential here for those characters to appear in the movies. Now, do we need that? Those shows? Of course, that's very relative question. I'm pretty sure that those characters have their fan bases somewhere. Now I'm going to talk about them individually because I made the effort to learn about what I don't know about those characters, and in that in that line of thought we can break it down those characters and see how really what they can bring to the table in terms of shows. um, yeah, that's another wow. That's again another story about yeah, not Sony, of course, yeah, Konami. I really was not referring to the latest Metal Gear Solid, which is not by Kojima, just the original one. I still haven't finished it. Yeah, I just ran into some section that I didn't really like, and I was getting confused about what I was actually supposed to do, so I just never continued it. I just had to move on to other games, so that's kind of a bummer if a game does not present you what you really have to do. I mean, not to hold your hand, but just to make it as engaging as so you have the incentive, the desire to figure out yourself. But if you don't, it's just hard. So it just does not give you very much of a desire to continue, so to speak. Oh, may I ask for a shout out to be girlfriend Elizabeth Patlan when you get a chance? She's always wondering why I'm on YouTube. Oh, of course, Michael, for you always. Michael, of course, one of my biggest supporters out here and fans. So a big shout out to Elizabeth Patuan. I hope that I'm saying her name right. And don't worry about Michael. He's just a very dedicated fan. And of course, we here are all fans of what I'm covering. Basically, I'm covering all of this because I really love it, and it's great to share that with all of you guys. And one of those very excited and very dedicated fan is Michael, and that for him, I think it's a lovely experience. So we can share those thoughts about all of these things together. So don't worry about him. He's great. He's fine. Yeah, exactly, Ivy. Yes. Yeah, it is brave. It's something new that they're doing. I personally support the idea because that way, movie actors can transition to TV and the opposite way, and we will no longer have this huge distinction that pretty much comes from the fact that when it's on TV, there are smaller budgets, and you are very limited by what you can do visually, and on movie screen you have larger budgets, obviously, and it's based for it's meant for wider audience, although sometimes TV shows have wider audience, but it's just a different different way of distributing the movies and different way of earning money of them. But now, why not mix the two? There is not a particular reason why we should not do this. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through your comments and continue with everything. Yeah, Moon Knight. Yeah, let's see what will happen exactly. Ah, you're welcome, Michael. Yeah, everything's working. So I read about those characters. For some reason my stomach starts hurting a lot. Goodness sakes. So I will try to see how I feel. I really don't feel very good. And yeah, continue with this stream because I don't want to ruin it. But my stomach really is not feeling fine right now. So Moonlight is a type of character that is very similar to Batman in terms of, well, how he is, but he is a guy basically that is brought back to life by an Egyptian entity, and he has well, he has several personalities, not only a billionaire. He has one personality like this, one that's like a regular person, and the other is Moonlight. I'm not sure if he had another one, but he has several companies and he uses the money from them to make Kevlar costumes, gadgets, and other stuff so he can present himself and do what he does best. He's very very good at combat because he has military training. So, well, he's very similar to Batman, really. Yeah, well, but yeah, I feel very sick. Like all of a sudden, I felt very sick. Sick to my stomach, actually. See how I feel in a few minutes, though. So, so that is Moonlight, but I mean, a lot of people are fans of him, but to be honest, I never heard of him up to today. So I did my research, real quick about his powers. It's not exactly powers, but he did defeated, Deadpool. Yeah, he did defeat Deadpool, which I have to read about how he managed to do that because he's basically a regular person that was brought back to life. Yeah. Then She-Hulk is very interesting because she's a cousin of Bruce Banner. She was a lawyer and she had a particular case to solve, and some criminals that are very interested apparently, in her and not. I mean, basically they're interested for her not to succeed in the case that she was, taking. So they wanted to kill her. They attacked her. Bruce was there. He tried to protect her as Bruce Banner, but they managed to, to take a shot at her. She was very badly wounded. Bruce Banner, yes. He basically had to act quick. He made a blood transfusion and back at the hospital, and she was trying to recover. The same criminals came back to kill her, and she transformed into the She-Hulk, which in her case, it's like very beautiful, bigger woman, a bigger, more muscular woman with longer hair, apparently green. I think she was depicted with the dark, actually black hair in the comic books. That picture here is more modern, so it's green. And she decided to fight crime and do whatever she could with her She-Hulk persona, and even she did that. Sometimes she was even a lawyer in her She-Hulk persona because she was able to retain her intelligence completely, unlike Hulk, you know. I mean, the regular Hulk, basically. So, She-Hulk is a very smart, very big, green, very strong woman. And sometimes she transformed into this form when she was some guys in bed, superheroes. That's another addition. I mean, it's another detail that I saw from making my research. Uh, yeah, exactly what Kirill said, that Moonlight has split personalities, and that also makes him resistant to mind control because he's so much aware of each and every personality of him that also leads him to some depression, and he has to deal with that. So it's very hard to be him basically because he has to manage those personalities and be aware of them too, and so that's very difficult. So because basically he has to um, sustain his sanity throughout all of that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. About She-Hulk, what Kirill said. um, what he said. The other direction. What? No, that direction. Yeah, what he said. Yeah, she was lawyer in She-Hulk form. Yeah. Anyways, that thing with her having different love relationships, basically sleeping with guys when she's She-Hulk. That's very funny. Yeah. Very funny. Okay. So next is the more like controversial character for today's times, you can say. Wow, she plays the thing. That's great. Yeah, yeah, she's very functional, you can say. So next is Mrs. Marvel, and this character is Muslim character. That's going to be the first Muslim character in the MCU. Maybe I think is the first Muslim character in the comic books as well. Kiro will correct me if I'm wrong. And she is also written by a Muslim writer, as far as I know. So her story basically started as a fan of Captain Marvel, and she basically idolized Captain Marvel, had a lot of pictures of her, and just wanted to be like her. She was a fangirl. She had a lot of comic books, read them, and all of that. So it's like a modern, fangirl, but the differences, sorry, are that superheroes actually exist. They do exist in her world. What's happening is that she does have the mutagen, um, and that is the Inhumans storyline, so to speak. And one day that gets triggered, if you're familiar with the Inhumans origins and so all of that. I'm pretty sure she didn't have anything to do with the Kree, but she just had this mutagen in her. So when that was triggered, she got superpowers, and those superpowers are very similar to those of Mr. Fantastic. She can get bigger, smaller. She can make her hands huge. She can even alter facial features. She can basically alter whatever she wants physically, but at the same time, she cannot like transform into another stuff like objects. I don't think she can transform though, to a certain extent. So it's an interesting power. It's not that it's not that much of a cooler power. It's not like, oh boy, I want her power. Yeah, do not want her power. Although some men could want that power for other reasons, but yeah. And eventually she meets Captain Marvel herself, and she herself, I mean, Mrs. Marvel, she just takes that name because, you know, Captain Marvel. Which I think it's kind of lame that she didn't think of her own name. It's different. It's not Captain Marvel, it's Mrs. Marvel. It's like calling myself, for instance, because my eye is just itching me. In those cases, I'm very happy that my lashes are completely natural. So I can just, you know, pull them like this and the itch is gone. Yeah, yeah, what Kirill said as well. Yeah, I know that she's using her name as an homage, as a tribute, so to speak, but it's kind of a bummer for me from individuality standpoint that she didn't think of her own name, you know. The fact that it's not exactly the same doesn't mean that people will not get confused when we have Captain Marvel and Mrs. Marvel, and they don't have anything in common except that they both have superpowers, but they're very different. And then one is a fan of the other. Probably Captain Marvel also respects her when she got to know her. She was also at one point member of the Avengers for a brief time, and she did contribute a lot to other teams or teaming ups of superheroes. Um, she's very dedicated and you know, basically did her homework so she can become also the superhero that she likes to be, modeled after her favorite superheroes. Yeah, yeah, he does. He does. You know how we are, especially when we team up, and of course, I'm not going to talk about particular something if I don't make, you know, do my research. That's what I was able to do in a short period of time, so I can have a very good grasp, an idea of these three characters. Now, what I think about them. So, this guy, Moonlight, I think that he has a huge potential, not only because he's very similar to Batman, but because he is different in that aspect with the Egyptian god and all of that. I do think that that could have give him some powers. I was kind of disappointed he does not have a lot of powers. You know, considering that a freaking Egyptian god brought him back to life. So I kind of thought that the Egyptian god is going to express himself through him in some kind of a way. I think that that was like the idea at some point, but then just didn't, you know, pan out. But just for me, it's going to be interesting if, you know, he had some superpowers because of the Egyptian god. I would love that. As a TV show, again, if Marvel are able to put the money, and they are because Disney, of course, has Marvel, it's going to be amazing. I would love to see that. I especially would love to see actually She-Hulk. At the beginning, when I thought of this idea, I was kind of annoyed by it because these days I just feel that they are pushing so many things in our faces, especially female characters, which for years and years I wanted to see. Um, you know, but not when they're pushed artificially into our faces. At this time, this may not be the case unless they are trying to, you know, also push some kind of a political agenda into our faces again. Those faces are going to become crowded from all the crap that we have to watch. I mean, we have to endure all the cheesiness and all the political correctness crap that we never had to deal with back in the day. Just look at Xena, how that show is done, you know. But yeah, Kiro can also attest to that. And the other thing is that those shows will probably not fit here into this phase. Maybe they just announced them so it can, you know, be hyped in advance. How many things Marvel are going to give us, so we can say like, oh my gosh, Marvel are going to give us so many things. We hyped now. We hyped, but I don't know. I mean, I'm like, when I'm going to watch all of this. I hope that it has like, you know, some kind of intervals between those shows so I can actually catch them all. And if they're like 5 episodes, I'm good with that. Because if they're 5, at least I'm going to be able to somehow put them into my schedule somewhere. When I'm working out, whatever, I'm going to put them somewhere somehow so I can watch them. Because if they have more episodes, one is going to be too expensive, two is going to be impossible to catch with everything. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be, you know, great quality as well in terms of writing, because they're putting a lot of resource behind them. Okay, so let's see what Kiryu says. Yeah, MCU did change a lot, and in some ways not in a very good direction, I think. And that brings me to the otherworldly What If, you know, animated series. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay, so about how Moonlight defeated Deadpool. They were fighting in a hospital and Deadpool got distracted by a pretty nurse, so Moonlight pushed him out of a window. Is that like a real defeat though? Because he can't die. He can't. Later they had a round 2 and he won again. But how did he won again? I mean, what is considered a win? Just win a particular like sparring session basically, but not fully win-win, because to fully win-win somebody has to die, I think. Yeah, I would just love that aspect about the Egyptian gods, and think that it's a missed opportunity maybe for the character. Maybe there's another character that could fit that, you know, that storyline in. Yeah, I was referring actually to the fact that he was the avatar of the Egyptian god that brought him back to life. I just, in my research, I just didn't see the powers that can manifest from that transaction. So if we can clear that up, that's gonna be great. Aha, so Moon Knight's strength, endurance, and reflexes are enhanced depending upon the phases of the moon. Well, why, you know what, from what I checked, there's no mention of that. Damn it. I guess I did more time to read about him, but I just didn't had the time. Really, that was not mentioned. Yeah, maybe in phase 4, I'm not sure. I mean, who is telling us? Nobody is telling us. Hi to Mario. Hi. Round 2, he won by slicing Deadpool with a sword. And Deadpool just took down, I mean, just fell down and took that. He was not all of a sudden healed and brought back to life. Uh-huh. I see, I see. So Moonlight does have the edge in terms of fighting skills, which is okay. That's great. I mean, it's one more thing that, you know, brings me to the thought of Batman and how he compares to Batman. He also has those moon. Um, they're not batarangs; they're moon ranks. I don't know how they're called that he throws. So I just, you know, would want, so to speak, for him to have some kind of a power so that can make more of a difference between him and Batman. But as you say, he does have more strength, endurance, reflexes that enhance depending on the phase of the moon. If those are like, you know, more than a regular person, I will consider them superpowers. More than a person could achieve physically on their own, maybe you can say. Yeah, I again, Michael. Before today, I had no idea who he is. Later, he lost the powers as a punishment, but I don't know what aspect they will use for him in the show. Yeah, you're right. They could just make the full-on version with the powers. Moonlight was created as a Batman ripoff because Marvel needed one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is written somewhere. I mean, you did that research and a lot more extended version, you know, that I had the time to do. I'm feeling, by the way, better now. My stomach feels a bit better. Hopefully that's gonna stay that way. I was feeling really sick a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, I'm just getting very sleepy today. Somebody rang the bell. I mean, somebody was trying to, you know, literally ring the bell at my doorstep at 9:30 on Saturday, and I was like literally, I, you know, my heart started pounding. I, you know, woke up so, you know, all of a sudden that I felt terrible, and I couldn't, you know, calm my pulse down. It was freaking terrible. And of course, I'm not going to get up and open the door. Like, who is bothering people at 9:30? Who? Because if I had the strength and not wearing a pajamas, I will be so Xena in 2 seconds. I will go all Xena on them. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna make them suffer so bad for that. But anyways, don't do that to people, like, especially on Saturdays. Go and ring the bell at 9:30 or 8:30. I mean, I had people, you know, trying to, you know, ringing my door for no reason at 8 o'clock. Probably some neighbors or somebody's carrying papers. I don't know what it is, but just God. But anyways, after I finish that rant, you know, the reason I feel so sleepy right now, basically. Yeah, guys. So yeah, only in Bulgaria, maybe. I'm considering putting like a note on there, like, don't ring my bell. Yeah, don't, because you don't know Xena, like the evil Xena in person. But you will. I'm especially frightening, especially scary when I get out of bed with a cute pajama with a cute bear, you know, on it, and with like a messy hair, and I'm like, you're gonna die. Leave me alone, damn it. Without makeup, looking like a 16 years old, which I don't mind. But anyways, so that's a no-no. Yeah, let people sleep. If somebody freaking decides to get up at 7, I don't have to do that. I want to sleep. I have my brain is so overloaded with work during the, you know, the weekday. You can't imagine. And then, you know, of course, I have to do all of this, which I love, but it's also a preparation, a work, like I said, a research. You know, it includes a lot of stuff before I can even start streaming or filming. And all I need is just to sleep so I can recover. And when that happens, you can't recover the whole day. Doesn't matter how hard you try to sleep after that. You can't recover. Just, it's terrible. Anyways, so guys, I'm sorry for that rant. But yeah, about that show, that What If. I wanted to talk to you about that because I watched Grace Randolph again. And again, I really love to watch Grace, but sometimes she does say some ludicrous stuff. Like, for instance, there would be a Peggy Carter part in it, as far as I understood. She's going to be called Captain Carter. And first of all, I really love the Agent Carter show. It was a great TV show. They recreated the world as best they could, in terms of the budget, of course. She was just awesome. I love that actress. And I was really bummed out when it was over, but they kind of ruined it the last few episodes. Good morning gets torn apart by a sleepy Gary Nant. Yeah. So Grace said, why not just call her Captain Britain? She's called Captain, again, she's called Captain Carter. So why not call her Captain Britain? Well, and she continues, Captain Britain is, is a guy and he already exists, but why not just claim that mantle? Just be bold or something like this and just claim the mantle of Captain Britain. First, when I was growing up, I have heard of Captain Britain. I have seen him, how he looks. I was very fascinated by him because, again, we had Captain America, we had Captain Britain. I'm pretty sure he was appearing in the Spider-Man animations. I do not remember his powers per se, but I was fascinated with him. I really enjoyed how he looked visually. Yeah, from What If, exactly. And she went on to say that she was supposed to be Captain Britain now because she's a woman. And I have to say that's a pile of horse shit. Yeah, because we already have Captain Britain and he's a guy and he has his own personality, and Captain they're all captains these days, and Captain Carter, she is amazing character on her own. She has her own backstory. She's Captain America's freaking love of his life, and he is freaking love of her life, and that's beautiful. And we don't need to ruin another character that is a guy, so we can bring up artificially a female character that already is great on her own. And in this way, in doing so, you will not only not bring her up, you will bring her up artificially, which means that you're going to bring her down, essentially. You're going to ruin Captain Britain, you're going to ruin Captain Carter. Like, for what reason exactly? So, just so you can give her what Captain Britain stands for, just because she's from Britain. Yeah, like, literally, just because she's from Britain, that does not give her character the credentials, the title, or the mantle of somebody that is totally different person. That's huge disrespect to him as the original Captain Britain, and it is a huge disrespect to her as Captain Carter. I mean, she did an amazing stuff for the MCU. Her role in terms of how she built Shield, what she did behind the scenes, basically the structure of everything from the inside. She has a great contribution to the story, and basically to the heroism that she possessed and all of that. So she does not need to steal from another character. Like, goodness sakes, Grace, that's SJW bullcrap 101. And they're doing the same thing into when we see this universe with Supergirl. They're stealing storylines and literally stealing villains from Superman, putting them into Supergirl, and just destroying her character, because again, she has her own backstory, her own villains, her own character strengths and weaknesses that makes her who she is, and she does not need to steal from her cousin. That is legendary, no less. So that is absolute disrespect to both characters. And another thing that we see is with Batwoman, completely destroyed as a character with the new show, steals from Batman like crazy, says bullshit lines like, I don't need a man to do a woman's job, or what was the line exactly? Um, Something about stealing, what I think was it, but basically she is stealing directly from him his technology and costumes and making them her own, and then says that she doesn't need a man. That makes her out to be a huge ass, incapable, and not competent, and complete rip-off, just ridiculous. That means that she basically proves that a woman cannot do the same stuff as a guy can. Because she's stealing and depending on that guy's technology, where she can actually do this on her own, and she does not need to be another person to do this. I'm going to get back to your comments now, of course. Because Kiddo added some good stuff here. Okay. I mean, there will be an episode that shows an alternate version in which she will have the powers of Cap and still won't have them. Even if that is the case, it's alternative version. She does not need to steal Captain Britain's. Yeah. Oh, she gets. Oh, she gets it from Merlin. That's so cool. You also agree about Grace. Yeah. Yeah, Ivy. Among other things that she says. It downplays both characters, yes. Yes, the original Captain Britain was deemed worthy from Merlin to have the powers. That's why you can't just give the mantle to everyone. Exactly, one more very good point. Plus with Batwoman, she also has this line about the suit. It will be good when it will. It will be good when it will. It will feel. It will fit a woman. Yes, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. It's gonna be good when it fits a woman. Like, what does that even mean? First, Batman is Batman. He made all of that. He created those costumes. He created the technology behind it. He created the whole idea of the Batman. He is that thing. He embodies this, and he has a great body. He works out like crazy. He's the epitome of physical perfection in terms of what human beings can achieve on their own when they really try. And a woman's body is just as amazing. It's just that it's a female version, and there's a male and human. Gosh, I'm starting to get crazy as well because of so many, bullshit, and I'm so tired, of course. But there's a male and there's a female freaking versions of the human body. Two versions. That's four. That's four. Two versions of the human body, and Batman suit can become. The same version, a woman's version of the Batman suit, a Batwoman suit can be done for a woman and to fit a woman perfectly, as well as Batman's for a man to fit Batman's body. And so what does that even mean? Does not make any sense what she said. And I'm pretty sure that you cannot just remake a male suit to a woman's suit because of the differences of the muscles, where they're put, and everything. You have to melt the rubber, or what, recreate another mold, or what. You have to make a completely different costume. So this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's very like in a blurry line if she thinks of herself as a guy or as a girl, because she is also, you know, a lesbian. I don't want to say these words because YouTube is going to monetize me. So I'm not sure if she has a girlfriend, which she does, who is going to be the male in that relationship. I just can't. So guys, basically the point that I'm trying to make is that Grace, for some reason, sometimes goes to the SJW route, and she wants to be like, oh, inclusion, oh, female characters, inclusion. You cannot put people where they're not supposed to be. You know, you cannot change, you know, to flip sexes of superheroes. You're doing extremely huge, you know, extremely huge injustice, you can say that, to those characters. You're changing who they are, and that is not good. If somebody like comes now and makes a Xena show about a guy named Xenon that's supposed to be Xena but a male version of it, well, that is a huge slap in the face. You know, that is insult. That is, I can't even begin to fathom what that is. It's so wrong. So just make original characters. I mean, at least Mrs. Marvel here, although she is, she is such a fan of Captain Marvel, although she did kind of took her old name, so to speak, she's at least a original character and is totally different from all the other characters in terms of origins and stuff. So at least that is, something original. So if you want to make characters that are good, just make them freaking original. I just can't stress this enough. It's like sitting in front of my friend's computer and saying, now you PC, it is better because I'm using it. Oh, go tattoo my signature on your forehead. I just have to read this again. Now your PC runs better because I'm using it. Oh, go tattoo my signature on your forehead. Yeah, what an arrogant guy, you know? Well, Xenon, I cannot take the credit for just making that up because there is a Xenon in Xena. But I can't tell you what it is because you know that episode that we saw together with the Amazons, it's kinda connected to that big time, but it's only going to manifest years later in the last season, I think. So yeah, it's connected to that episode, and it's great actually. It's an homage to Xena in some ways, but it is existing as a character. Xenon's that stuff in nuclear facilities, right? That rings trouble. I don't know. I don't know. I never heard of such compound or material, whatever. But guys, that is it pretty much. I'm dead beat tired. At least my stomach feels better now. I still get the chills from it, which is not very good, but at least I don't feel the huge discomfort and pain. So all of that. Yeah, you wait and see Xenon. There's a lot of times till he comes along, but yeah. He has nothing to do. Oh, sorry. With Xena in terms of some kind of a copy of her. It's totally different story. It's very interesting, but yeah, well, you'll see. So guys, overall, I'm excited for all of that. I'm excited that Disney are willing to put all the money behind those shows so they can be movie quality, and we no longer have to put up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I hope, and such shows that are just hit or miss, and at the end of the day they just become even more insulting to our intelligence in so many ways in terms of writing. DC shows as well, there's so many ridiculous stuff happening there. that it's just really insulting to our intelligence, honestly. Especially that thing with Supergirl and Batwoman, how SJW those shows have become. Her sister Alex, Supergirl's sister, was just a heterosexual, woman at the first season. Then she became gay all of a sudden, and it was like so forced, so ridiculous. And sometimes Supergirl does some really cool stuff. She shows that she's strong and smart. Sometimes she does ridiculous, stupid stuff. She can't find a person because she forgot that she has super hearing or super flying, or there's so many stuff that just insult our intelligence over and over and over again. And I really hope that what we'll see in Marvel will not be like this, although I do not like some of the decisions and of Kevin Feige and how he presented some of the characters. I really don't like where things are going with Thor, although it's not like I don't want to see Natalie Portman playing the female Thor, but Thor is Thor, and I only think that there's only one Thor. And he's the freaking son of Odin, and you can't just make another Thor. Well, they did it, but for me, she's not really Thor, because again, Thor can be only Odin's son. There can be only one Thor. There can be other people that can will Mjolnir, but there cannot be real Thors just running around. And when Captain America did that, he also was not Thor. He was just wielding the hammer. And I even saw a picture of Captain Marvel, like lifting it, or it was Brie Larson doing that. So that just devalues so much the freaking thing. Like, everybody are worthy now. I mean, I understand that they're all superheroes. They all have very good qualities and high virtues, values. And by that logic, all of them should be worthy, but we don't know what exactly are Odin's requirements to be worthy. And for the very least, I do think that you have to be a Asgardian. Somehow your blood or your type of being to be connected to the freaking hammer, I don't know. I just think that it's logical to be this way, but probably it's not. I would like to, Michael says, I would really like Keanu Reeves to be Moon Knight. Even Keanu is getting stiffer. I'm sure he could pull it off. Well, Keanu is working his skills in terms of shooting and rolling over on the ground, but he's really so soft. He should just really engage more in bodybuilding and stretching, because that's going to bring his mobility and flexibility back. He's not that old. It's possible for that to be developed and sustained to very old age. I'm seeing grandmas that are basically still ballerinas, and they can do everything that the young girls can do. So it's basically a matter of training, and he's always been one of the softest actors, never gained any muscle mass, never was defined or with any kind of aesthetic body ever. He's always relatively super average in terms of body. Um, we can see that even in John Wick when they try to film his back from behind. You just have to imagine muscles being there. It's basically one big giant tattoo with, made on a very, well, not a very good back, because he just does not have that developed, just soft tissue. By soft tissue, I just mean muscles that are not developed, and of course fat under the skin. Mm, yeah. Well, of course, when you train martial arts, you will develop some other skills in terms of the movements. But that does not mean that you don't need to have the muscle building power behind that. That's why Bruce Lee trained with weights, and he knew the importance of bodybuilding and how building up your body and developing it to the fullest extent can help you in every single aspect of a fight, because you're going to be automatically in better condition in every single second than if you just soft but you know how to do this. So that's also going to strengthen your ligaments. You're going to be harder physically to the touch, and you're going to be able to produce explosive movements that you otherwise would not be able to do in the same manner if you don't actually have developed muscles. So muscles produce explosiveness and strength, and you do need this when you do all of those things. Gosh, before I studied Kung Fu, I knew some of the katas, some of the movements. Now I know nothing, but I'm just doing this to illustrate, you know. And I do know how I feel when I develop my body. When I'm working out, I feel like a totally different person, and when I don't work out, I feel like a piece of cake on the floor. Yeah, exactly what I was trying to say, Kyo, yeah. Yeah, the hammer has to be worthy. But you know, Odin did whisper some chant onto the hammer, which determines, which basically it's like the programming factor of the hammer. Well, but that logic again, what you said about the hammer, Thor can be worthy now, worthy, not worthy 5 minutes from now. No casting so far. Definitely no casting. Kit Harington, that's what I forgot to say. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones was cast as a mystery hero. Some things that he's Wolverine already, so we'll see because he's short. Heartbreaker, pretty much. That's so funny. Okay, guys, if I forgot something, I apologize. Um, Interesting stuff are to follow, and let me know what you think in the comments as always. So please follow me on the social media, links down below. You can check how you can support me there as well. Also, of course, you can support me in the super chat. Maybe this is the easiest option, I'm not sure. Check it out if you like. And today maybe I'm going to take the day off. We'll see though. If I have something else to cover, I really need a day off, but yeah. I'm gonna let you know, just follow my Facebook page. For now, good night if you have my time. Sleep well. Have a great Sunday. Until next time with me, Gary G Reviews. Thank you guys.